Hello, this is the BBC News with Fiona MacDonald. Local government officials in the US state of Tennessee have voted to reinstate the second of two black Democrats who were expelled last week for protesting against gun violence. Justin Pearson and his colleague Justin Jones were ordered out of the state legislature by Republicans after leading a demonstration on the chamber floor. David Willis has more details.
The protest came in the wake of a school shooting in the city of Nashville in which 6 people, including 3 9-year-olds, died. Republicans who control the Tennessee House of Representatives voted to expel lawmakers Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, both of whom are black, but stopped short of inflicting a similar punishment on a third Democratic politician, Gloria Johnson, who is white. Justin Pearson is expected to return to the state capitol in Nashville on Thursday to be sworn back in. But he and Justin Jones have only been restored to their positions on a temporary basis and must now undergo special elections.
Documents included in a major leak of classified US government materials suggest that Washington believes the UN Secretary-General has been too yielding to Russia. They suggest Antonio Guterres was keen to preserve the Black Sea grain deal, allowing exports to Africa and Asia at any cost. Paul Adams has more details.
In the view of the Americans, Mr. Guterres is being too accommodating of Russian interests, including where they involve individuals or companies under Western sanctions. His actions, according to the Americans, are undermining broader efforts to hold Moscow accountable for its actions in Ukraine. Now, clearly, that is something that the UN officials would dispute. They would say that it is of vital importance to make sure that this global food crisis is addressed, and that grain deal was an important part of that. And I think they would also dispute the idea that Mr. Guterres has been anything other than candid with the Russians about the war in Ukraine.
Police in Ecuador say they found the bodies of 6 inmates hanged inside a cell in one of the country's most dangerous prisons, the Litoral Penitentiary, in the city of Guayaquil. Our America's editor, Leonardo Rocha, reports.
The security forces have been carrying out cell-to-cell searches to check if there are other victims in the compound. The worst prison riots in Ecuador's history have happened inside the Guayaquil Penitentiary. But prison violence has become common across the country. More than 400 inmates have died in the past 2 years. The violence is attributed to rival gangs who've intensified their fight for control of the country's jails since being hired by Mexico's powerful drug cartels a few years ago. Local media say the gangs also demand monthly payments from the families of inmates and often kill those who refuse to comply.
You're listening to the latest world news from the BBC. A senior Christian cleric in Lebanon has called for all Syrian refugees to be deported. Patriarch Bishara Boutros al-Rai, who's the head of Lebanon's Maronite Church, made the call in his Easter service message. He said Syrians were draining the state's resources. About 1 million people who have fled Syria's civil war remain in Lebanon. In northern Mali, jihadists affiliated to the Islamic State group have taken over a village in Menaka, a region that's now largely under their control. The Islamist militants seized another village, Tidermain, on Monday night, following months of fighting. Will Ross has more details.
Tidermain is not a large village. It's home to a few thousand people. But now that it's in the hands of the Islamic State-linked fighters, Mali's central government has lost control of almost the entire Menaka region. Only the regional capital still has a presence of UN troops, Malian government soldiers and some Russian mercenaries. A local official who fled the village confirmed the capture and said the insurgents were moving around with weapons.
Scientists who have completed an unprecedented study of cancer say they don't think a cure will be found anytime soon. The researchers, who tracked lung cancers for 9 years, said they were surprised at the almost infinite ability of tumours to evolve and survive, showing the importance of prevention and early detection. Russia said it wants to continue using the International Space Station until 2028. The announcement marks a reversal of its previous policy made after relations deteriorated with the West following the invasion of Ukraine. Russia had said it would abandon the station next year. Space is one of the few areas where Russia still cooperates with the West. The Jamaican-born dub and reggae star Jah Shaka, who helped pioneer the UK's sound system culture in the 1970s, has died. He was thought to be 75. The DJ and producer inspired musical genres such as house and grime. BBC News.